Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Psychedelic Art Exchange YouTube channel. We are here with what is likely our final entry of 2024. We have one more signature auction this year that is running now. It's our December CGC auction, and it's kind of amazing. We're really proud of it. There's a lot of stuff we want to talk about because, I think some of our favorite posters may make an appearance. So let's get into the posters.
Yeah, actually, if you've been following our sales, you'll notice that our signature sales have gotten more condensed. We're
Mm.
hitting with more frequent sales with less pieces so that buyers can concentrate on the heavy stuff. And
Mhm.
that's what we have here today. We're leading off this final CGC signature sale of the year. These are the heavy items. And there's a lot of depth and a lot of good storytelling in the three posters that we're featuring today. And
Mhm.
we'll just start off with the BG13. This is early Wes Wilson. It is one of the standout pieces. It really is different in design. And if you follow Wes Wilson's work through the first 20 or so, you'll notice how the whole psychedelic lettering and imagery really is starting to evolve. This
Mhm.
one's pretty much straightforward, probably at Bill Graham's wishes, because Bill was like, give me a poster I can read. That was that was his thing. I mean, but look at what happened. Anyhow,
Mhm.
aside from that, the poster itself is an outstanding condition, and it's one of these pieces. Before CGC, the resident expert of all this, Eric King, used to certify the posters by writing on the back. I don't know. Can you see that? It's
I'll throw up a picture of it.
anyhow. That was old school before CGC. Eric King's, certification meant everything for getting an expert opinion back then. And so anyhow, BG13. It's one of those poignant, I guess, chapters in the Fillmore story. It was Bill Graham had booked Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was a groundbreaking comic, really
Mhm.
brilliant, but pushed the edge really hard back then, to the point where he got arrested for obscenity, and he actually got convicted of obscenity charges. And it really, it was the decline of Lenny Bruce. He fell into drug addiction, and he was just bitter and unhappy till the end. This real brilliant guy that today is tame compared to, obviously, the the comic material we hear.
No,
But
sure.
yeah, Richard Pryor blew it all out of the water. But anyhow, Lenny Bruce, his final performance, he would be found several months later, dead of a heroin overdose. And that was sort of the end of his brilliant career. It was one of these stories where, Bill jumped through a bunch of hoops to get Lenny to perform, and he was late. And there's a crazy story about picking him up at the airport and what. Really, if you really want an in-depth, really good recollection of this story, the Bill Graham biographies,
Mm.
really worth reading. Anyone that's
Yeah.
deep into this stuff, Bill Graham Presents is what it's called, and it's published many years ago. But the account of the Lenny Bruce story is great. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the mothers saved the day, right? That's
yeah.
the yeah.
Well, yeah, that's two of the stories. Obviously, this is a great Mothers poster. Weirdly enough, the Mothers were the supporting act in two of the sort of early Fillmore appearances that were not, the San Francisco bands and the San Francisco sound. The Andy Warhol Velvets poster, and this, it
Mhm.
was really strange. And the story from here goes is that Zappa asked Lenny Bruce to sign his draft card, but he wouldn't do it. He was like skeptical about it. But yeah, apparently the Mothers saved the show. Bill Graham was unhappy, but it's one of those footnotes in rock and roll San Francisco history that it really this is in many ways, you know, really one of the most important pieces in the whole set. And you know, and it's signed by Wes in pencil, and Wes is no longer with us, so I challenge you to find a better copy. This is 9/6 CGC, but you know, all I notice is a tiny little edge crease. I didn't go over it with the magnifying glass, but it's a really strong copy.
Awesome.
Anyhow,
Well,
moving on to, you know, this piece that, you know, it was the human being. This was January of 1967. There are a lot of flyers from this event from Michael Bowen and, you know, of various artists, but the posters are the Mouse Kelly poster and the Rick Griffin poster. The Griffin poster is wonderful, the horseback riding Indian with the guitar, but this piece, this odd piece by Mouse and Kelly with, you know, the shaman guru, whatever. This is a trippy
very
piece.
odd, yeah.
But it was sort of the you know, it was in many eyes, this was the last event of the real innocence of Haight-Ashbury. That after,
yeah, well, it's credited with, like, you know, the Summer of Love coming out of it and everything, but to the people who were in the know, it was the end, right?
Right. You know, LSD was just recently made illegal in the state of California, and the city was starting to catch on with runaways and people wanting to, you know, to catch on to what was going on. And it was by all reports, you know, a wonderful, incredible day. It was, you know, the sound clip that came out of it is Timothy Leary saying, "Turn on, tune in, drop out." It was, you know, Ginsberg was there, all of the Beats, all of the rock bands. It was, you know, a definite time machine, you know, trip. But you know, this is again one of the must-have pieces for collectors of this material. And again, this piece is signed by Mouse and Kelly, 9.0 quality. Again, very strong. You know, you can look at the images. We can send you high-res images if you want to take a closer look. But you know, this is one of the, you know, finer copies that we've handled.
Yeah, that's very special. It's very, very beautiful, very historical, and signed.
And signed, yeah. And you know, Kelly's no longer with us, so it's signed in gold ink. Again, look on the auction page. You'll be able to see the signatures much better. Anyhow, moving right along to
our lead lot.
Yeah, all right. So this is a piece that requires, you know, some explanation, because it's not a common poster. It doesn't come up for sale that often. It never comes up for sale in this shape. I don't know if any other copies exist in the shape. This is the highest grade on the CGC census, but there's only been a handful of copies graded. But I've seen 1-2 copies like this for sale, for auction in the last 10-15 years. And it's a piece that I've always been attracted to because, you know, of the color. It's early Grateful Dead, and it's Buffalo Springfield too. So this poster was created by Pinnacle Productions, which was a young, hip organization in LA that wanted to put on big time rock shows. This was the end of 67, and they, you know, part of the group was John Van Hammersveld, who was the art director. And, you know, John went on to do a lot of great stuff. Exile on Main Street, Magical Mystery Tour, you know, Endless Summer, which he never got paid a dime for, which probably has sold more posters than anything. And but again, so this is super early and rare. It's on pulpy paper that falls apart. If you've ever seen the Hendrix poster from the Shrine from Pinnacle, it's the same thing. It's pulpy paper. That poster is incredible and never comes up for sale and never in mint condition. So just understanding this early Pinnacle stuff, it's hard because there's not a lot of references. You know, with things that have a lot of sales, it's easier to make a you know, extrapolate value and whatnot. When there's so few
Mhm.
things, it becomes a thing of its own,
Mhm.
especially in this grade. But
Mhm.
according to the promoters, this was a battle of the bands. It was San
Mhm.
Francisco versus LA, and they swapped headlining. And supposedly Neil was out of his mind on guitar. I mean, Neil Young in Buffalo Springfield, he still is just one of the most original, great guitar players. He's not a shredder, but he's Neil. And
Sure.
he does with tone and sound what others do with a lot of notes. So, and then you had, the Dead in '67, and opening up Blue Cheer, the loudest San Francisco band,
Yeah.
again, with, are attributed to being the fathers of heavy metal and punk, like the MC5, those two
Mhm.
bands, and they played loud, and they were named after Osley Acid. So Blue
Oh,
Cheer's,
there's a through line here.
oh yes.
The posters are connected.
Yeah, well, imagine that. I mean, Bear probably runs through all of this stuff.
Yeah.
He was the guy that, provided the refreshments for the whole '60s. So, but that's another story for another
I'm sure we'll
day.
come back to that. Yeah.
But anybody that hunts high grade titles, that really is looking for the best of the best, I wouldn't wait for a 9.8 of this to show up,
I don't think it
because
will.
yeah. So again, you heavies out there that go for the gems, this is one.
Well, there you have it. Just three of the 50 lots that are in the auction. The December CGC sale is closing on Sunday, December 22nd at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. All of the links that you will need are in the description below me. I hope that you enjoyed our content throughout this year. We've had a lot of fun making it. Definitely leave us a comment, like the video, tell us what you think.
Sign up for
Um,
the auctions
yeah.
and bid heavy.
Happy holidays.
Cheers, y'all.
Bye.